of thank you, Precious, for that. In terms of just building capacity as leaders across different spheres, that's really like the mandate and at the heart of this network. And so, of course, within our network, we have amazing sort of business leaders and experts in their own field, industry leaders. And so, without sort of like overflogging the point, what's the point of trying to get experts from outside when we have it in our own backyard here? So it's really nice to have all of you, or each of you, being willing to contribute every other week to some kind of subject matter. This week, we have the money wits experts. And in fact, one day I was reflecting on the wit and I was like, now I get it, because I didn't understand what wit meant. I don't know. It came to me without asking you, so we'll talk about that anyway. But yeah, so Ola, if you don't know her, she's our. I mean, I remember when I had first. We went to the same secondary school, so I didn't really know her then. But you know how QC is such a gigantic school. But kind of met her a few years ago. I think we were in some committee together, and then she was running to be like, was it CFA president or something? Like, who runs to be CFA president? I mean, then you know that she's on another level. So I always kind of admired her from afar. CFA Society president, and she was working in finance in an entity, a boutique firm at the time. So of course she became a member of the network, as has been adding a lot of value. And she also started her own network and then went off on her own. So she does quite a number of amazing things. I think what I also like about Ola is the fact that she's a sort of like an accredited financial specialist. So you can be sure that the insights she gives are objective, and it's not just something wild. And she would always sort of give you the guidance and let you know what the risks are. So anyway, she's a money expert as I see her. And she was willing to come to give us a talk this week on just profitability and just building our portfolios for this year, the start of the year. So it's a great time to get insights on that. Also, when it's the money topic, everybody wants to just learn more and understand how to do that better. We're also going to talk about the collaboration we have with her club and our network right at the end. But without further ado, I'm going to hand over to her. Yeah, so Ola, over to you. I think you're frozen, or is it me? Yeah, hello?
Am I? Am I
Okay,
frozen? I can hear you.
we can see your screen now, but yeah, maybe it's just me. Yeah, your video is frozen, but it's fine. It's okay. I can see your screen.
You can't see me. Oh, okay. Okay, but you can hear me.
I can see you now. And
Okay.
then,
Okay, so
sorry, I wanted to also say, sorry, so in terms of the presentation, she's going to talk through her structure, but as we go along, please feel free to ask questions in the chat box. And then I think she'll be willing to take questions at the end as well. So over to you. Oh, there's a
yeah.
number of people on. I could only see 5 on my screen for some. Anyway, yeah, so people are joining, but
Yeah.
yeah, welcome everyone again. And yeah, over to you, Ola.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Aramide, for having me. I totally love the community and I love the banter and stuff. So I'm very happy to do this. And I believe everyone will draw some value from this. Like Aramide said, I'm very used to looking at the chat. So the chat box is popped out on my screen. So if you have a question, if you have a thought while I'm speaking, just drop it there. If it's something that I can respond to immediately, I will. If it's something that I need to unpack afterwards so I don't break my flow, I will. But I'll run through my presentation as quickly as possible and leave room for questions, engagement, so that we really like do fantastic job in talking about me. I'm on LinkedIn. We can connect. Oladele anywhere. So the name of my company, actually the actual company, the company registered with the CAC is olaoladele.com. But everybody knows the money with and we're all about financial wellness with different expressions. Our expressions radio, YouTube, have a media expression, we have the community, that's the money with club, and then we actually train. So what I'm doing right now is something I do a lot. So it's something I've done, right? So workshops, training, speaking engagement, panel sessions, all around finance, the economy, I do stuff with NESG on the economy and stuff. So anything around money, and sort of driving it and relating with human beings and individuals as real people, not just random stuff, just count me in. So people that we've partnered with some of the companies and then where I've been featured. So now to the topic, 2024 outlook, and your finances and positioning for profit. And I must say that my sessions are usually engaging, please don't just be looking. You have to show that you are here. So at the end of this session, you know some basic facts about the economy, know why a pay increase is not necessarily the solution, the 3 parts to thriving, enemies of your financial security, and how to kickstart your journey. A lot of people have done like random stuff. Like I've done this here, I've done that here, I've done that here. But you know the way, oh, I just stopped by this store, I just stopped by this store, I'm window shopping. It's different from I am going to the airport. They are 2 different things. So let's go from I just randomly stopped here and stopped here to this is where I'm going. That's the goal. And we'll try and achieve that in a short while. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I mean, this is an engaging session, please, who is feeling the heat by show of hand? Hands raised, hands raised, hands raised. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Who is feeling the heat? I want to see if it's just me. Anybody? Nobody? Gloria. Gloria is telling us the truth. Who else? Or maybe Ramni is a billionaire. I know how to be. Titi. So yes, there's a general there's a general pressure.
Everybody is feeling
There's
it,
a
Ola.
pressure. Eh? I didn't hear that.
Everybody is feeling it, Ola.
Everybody's feeling it. I know there's a general pressure, right? And it's part because we are entering to we are in the season of responsibility. If we look back, we'll also see why, I'll talk about it. It's not that deep. It's actually not that deep. But yes, everybody's feeling it. What's happening? Um, I'll say these are the poster boys, they are the poster children of that experience. But beyond that, gas prices up, FX issues. We still talk about FX issues in the community today, and it has been an ongoing situation. And guess what? Inflation is an issue. And I know that not everybody in the Niger startup community is based in Nigeria. I was in the UK at the end of last year. Prices are up everywhere. Inflation is a thing. The reason why the Feds are taking up interest rates is so that they can curb inflation. So guess what? As much as you might be in Nigeria thinking that the world is crashing on only Nigeria, it's a challenge everywhere else. So this applies to everyone. So you can put your hands down. Thank you. So why is it happening, right? There are different things. The Nigerian will nod straight up at poor economic management, bad investment decisions, supply chain disruptions, political tensions, everything that we are seeing some way or the other, you can put it under these buckets, right? Now, my next question to you, could this have been different for you in terms of feeling the heat? Do we think that there's a way that our lives could have been structured that that won't be feeling this heat right now? Does anybody think there's a way? Hands raised, could it have been different? Yes, no. You can type in the chat. Yes, it could have been different. I could have done something different. There could have been a different outcome. There's a way I would not be feeling this heat. What do we think? Yes, no? Quickly, 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 quickly. Are we thinking, or is it too heavy a question? It's not that heavy now. Is it that a yes or no? If you're earning in dollars generally, but there's inflation in America now. Think about it. But yes, if you're in Nigeria, you're earning in dollars. It was inevitable, I think. Olugbenga says, yes. Now, I just want to paint 2 scenarios, right? So imagine there are 2 parents, 2 mothers, right? And they have daughters that are about to get married in relationships, right? And they are close to getting married. And we are in January 2023, and both mothers are like, oh, what we're going to do for our daughters, we're going to buy the rice for the weddings. How many bags do you need? How many people are we going to have in the party? Oh, 20 bags of rice, we're going to do that. And then the rice money, you don't touch it. But then one mother now says, this is our country. Let me use this money. Let me put this money in dollars and let me wait. If the currency is still the same way, I will sell it in 2024 January when it's time to buy the rice. And if things are worse off and better off, I mean, I'll still convert in which ways, but I'll convert at a better price. And the other mother just leaves the money in her account. And then you fast forward to 24 and prices have tripled. Exchange rate has doubled. What's the English of what has happened to our exchange rate? I don't even know the math right now. But both people, and I mean, it also speaks to Titi's response. What has happened on outside you have no control over. But how you are, people know, they're not happy, they're not happy, but it's not disturbing them. Sorry, it's saying my connection is unstable. Can you guys hear me? Please, I just need to know. Or if I need to switch.
Going in and out.
Somebody,
Yeah.
oh, it's going in and out. Okay, let me see if I can switch. But I'll just keep on speaking. So there's a part where things have happened on the outside. Both mothers could not have controlled the outcome or what would happen to the currency. They could never have. There are very few people that can actually unilaterally control what will happen with the exchange rates. But some choices made a difference in how, in fact, one mother will be like, the currency has moved from here. I have more money to buy more bags. Or after the bags of rice that she's bought, she would say, I can pay for something else, right? But the other mother will be like, the money is not complete. Maybe you need to add more to it, or she has more money to add. But basically, what am I saying? You get the point. Your positioning matters. And I mean, the next thing, okay, before I even go to that, please, who knows their pension fund balance? Who has checked it recently? Just for a good morning call. How does it look? You know. Anybody else know? Okay, your pension fund balance. For most people, you can spend your pension fund in a year, max 2 years, you're done. Like the thing they've accumulated for you over 15 years of working. Like if you vex in 1 year, travel, live a good life, that's finished. I just wanted to drop that there for you, just so that you can wake up. You've seen the externals, meaning that we talked about the economy. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we could have done to make them not take out the fuel price at the time that they did. None of those things. You wish they could give you your own valid request. Can you access before retirement? Yes, you can. And I can talk about that later. You can, a portion of it. So yeah, what's your RSA balance? That's just a wake-up call. So we've talked about the economy. We've talked about you. That's the general savings everybody has. Now, in case you did not know, I asked ChatGPT, has there ever been a time of economic certainty in the world? And the long and short of this story, there has never been a time where everything is just fine. Never. As we've all realized as we get older, when we think, oh, we fixed Russia, Ukraine, somebody somewhere will blow up something in Libya or Iraq or whatever, and oil prices will go up or something will happen. Why? Because it's just life. There's never been a time where there will be complete economic certainty. There might be booms where things are generally going well, but even in those booms, there are still things going bad, right? And they have been busts. Like we all know the bust, right? But literally there's never been a time of economic certainty, and it's important for us to know that. Why? Because it also helps your mindset when you see challenges. If you know that, okay, it's not that new, it's not that deep, right? It's not. Now, what you need to know is that the successes and progress that we have seen as humanity have happened despite turbulent times. In fact, tough times probably led some of them as their propagators push through. Why am I saying this? As much as we are in Nigeria, blah, 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 I don't, how do I put it? I don't get weighed down by the Nigerian situation, because somewhere in my mind, I'm like, okay, what is the opportunity? What should I be doing here? What should I be forecasting? So, and how can I help people? That's it. You have to be pragmatic about it. The moment it starts weighing you down, you lose your decision-making skills. You just go into a rut and you don't want to get there, but there will always be opportunities. And what do we expect going forward? Let me not break it down to you, but this is what we expect going forward globally. Globally, this is what we expect going forward. A very bumpy ride. Very, very bumpy. But it's general. It's general. That's the general story you would hear. That's the fact. The general, well, what everybody's saying, that's what you would hear. It's going to be a very bumpy ride. Very bumpy. Now, for those that say the solution is that they need to increase their salary, let me tell you why. I mean, those were one of the 4 things that I said. I've explained, I put the economy in context, right? I was going to first go the route of this one's forecast, this one's forecast, this one's this. Like, no, I saw the presentation, I saw the post of like different people's forecast, and the person said, I didn't even bother to read it. After all these things, right? Because we're looking for what relates with us. So for those that say the solution is to increase your salary or to make more money, It's good to make more money, I agree, but it might not just be it. So a little story. So this is Chichi. She finished school in 2009. Graduation day, she became a copper. When she was a copper, she was taking bus, she was shopping in Tedro Show. She was eating amala, in that woman by the side. And then she was going to Ibadan on vacation, right? In her auntie's house. And then she became a full staff. Now she can buff up a little. She's shopping on ASOS. She went to Ghana on holiday. Now she's mixing between thank you, Titi. She's mixing between car, boss. I mean, why should I be stressing myself? And you see that Mala, it's not up to her social status anymore. Now TSC is okay for her. What has she done? She has increased what she was spending, right? And then guess what? For most people, they don't have savings, they're just happy, right? And then fast forward to 15 years, 20 years down the line, she's a boss babe, carrying LV bag. She's eating the same amala she's eating it at Knock by Alara. So let's say amala is like what, 500, 1,000. Now she's spending like 12K, 15K on a meal with Knock by Alara. She's going to Dubai. She has a driver, space pay car and everything, but she doesn't have any savings. She's enjoying life, right? The fact is, when you put this into context and the context of the question that I asked, what's your RSA balance? You know that there's some work that needs to be done. Amen. Why people silent now? People should talk. Can you relate? So there's this pseudo rule that your expenditure will always rise to meet your income. Like that's is like a pseudo rule. It doesn't, you can break it, you can position yourself, but there's this law. And you be hiding under Parkinson's law that somehow or the other you find a way to spend the money if you're not careful. Now, can you relate? Everybody can relate. I can almost bet that we can all relate with the way that society, life, just enjoy yourself. What's all this? I can't kill myself. Dirty December, and you just find that you are spending. You can't be earning and live. I love it. Very true. You can't be earning and live like a pauper. But you see, that amala that she was eating from the side, whatever, she was not a pauper. It was probably sweeter, but let me not shade Knock by Alara. But it was really the real thing. Do you understand? It was cooked in the right measure. Oh, but we cannot relate, right? But what am I saying here? Fundamentally, focus on what you can control. You cannot, I love Morenica. Yes, you have to leave. I will talk about the balance. Focus on what you can control. Why do I say that? The fact is, you can't control the economy. You can't control what the central bank is going to do. We all know what they should do. In fact, even if you're not an economist, you know what they are supposed to do, right? But somehow or the other, they are not doing it. You can't control that. You have to be more pragmatic and say, who are these people? I mean, that's what I do. Who are these people? Do they look like they have the capacity to do it or the intent to do it? If they don't, then what should I be doing? And I go and do that thing. No sentiment. You have to focus on what you can control because, hey, you don't have no PJ waiting for you. You have to do what you need to do. Yeah. So you have two goals: survive and thrive now, and make sure you thrive in the future. There are two things. So thrive now, because there's like heat right now of the, what's it called? The cycle, the hustle cycle, because you need to, like, you can't be working for 20, 30, 40 years. And then at 70, you are still managing. It's not a plan. Yeah, it's not a plan. So what do you need to do to survive now? Review your spending, focus on your needs, plan your finances. What do I mean? If rent is coming, do you get plan? Just know that, okay, what do I need to spend this year? If I'm traveling for summer, you might want to buy your tickets early because prices for summer this year is gonna be gangster. Right? Make necessary lifestyle adjustments. Right. Thank you, Aramide. Anything that you can, think about it. So the baby that moved from going to Ghana, from going to what's it called, to Ibadan, to going to Ghana. Guess what? Ibadan is also fun. Do you understand? It's not bad. And if you have family there, it's gonna be fun. And you would actually be refreshed. Yeah. So some of these things that we think, oh, it's really whatever, right? It might not just be so bad, right? Then upskill for higher pay, even if your skill is in networking. Networking is a skill that can get you money. So whatever skill that you need, upskill. And bulk shop. Why do I say bulk shop? Because with the way prices are jumping up, right? If you have cash, it just makes sense for you to say, okay, how much do I need for this at the start of the year and just buy everything and rest. So that when they say all these prices are going up, it's not disturbing you. Do you understand? If you can pay school fees for the year, right, just pay it so that you are not, because you need your brain and your mind to be free to make proper decisions. So whatever you can do to ease that, do it and do it quickly. Now, positioning to thrive in the future. Simple scenario. I've used scenarios so many times. What I think it just hits on the point, right? Imagine if someone brings an apple to you as a gift. You eat the apple. There's the seed. Yes, can be a blockage. That's true, Aramide. There's this. You decide that, oh, for me, I'm not a farmer. I don't use this. Imagine what a farmer does.
Think we're losing you again.
And your brother was an apple farmer, what will he be doing? He'll be hustling you for your seed, hustling you. Give me that seed, give me, don't throw it away, right? You will pile it up for him. Why? Because that seed, he would plant it in the ground and give it time. What happens? It becomes a tree, right? What am I saying? For everybody, what you are doing, your work, the works of your hands, and the salary you get from it is the fruit of your labor. The salary you get is your apple. Now, if you decide that, oh, I'm too cool for school, I use the seed to do facials. If you decide I want to eat it, you know, some people when they're eating, for example, not strawberry, what is this fruit in my head? If you just jump past my head, some of these red foods that they say, oh, eat the core too, or eat the seed too, you know, you can digest it and that's it. But what you decide to do with that seed that you pull out of your salary will determine whether in time you would have a tree with plenty of apples. And that's the fact. That's the fact. To put it into context, you're going to be working from what, 21 to what, 60? Yeah? You want to live long, you want to live long. From 60 to what, 80, 90, 100, 120, 200. You're going to need to fund yourself. Except if you are planning that your children, subconsciously, your children will fund you, because some people, it's a subconscious thoughts that their children will fund them after retirement. But if not, then you have to create a system that will fund you and possibly even transfer wealth to your children. So it's the same thought. What are the things that you're going to do? And you have to pull out from, is what you have that you can pull out of. So you pull out from your salary. I also want to put it to you that if you just pull out from your salary, AKA save, and leave it in the bank idle, think of how much 100K could have bought last year and think of how much you can buy right now. That's what's going to happen. It's just like keeping seeds out on the table. It's going to dry up, shrivel and become useless. Yeah, that's what's happening. So think about this. Every time you get paid, there's a seed inside it. You need to find where to plug it in. Hope we're good on that. So my NIGB 2025 story. I just want to share this story. So someone was talking about how we have a 2025 bond. Nigeria has a Euro bond for 2020. It's maturing in 2 years, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, oh, it was done 2 years ago. I'm like, no, I know Nigerian, it's called NIGB. So that's the code on Bloomberg. It's Nigerian bond 2025. So in 2019, there were some regulatory changes in Nigeria. And I mean, this is just putting how these things should be done. There's some regulatory changes that, for me as an economist, I knew that what was going to happen was that the currency was going to slide. We did not know that COVID was going to come, but I already knew that currency was going to slide. So what did I do? I liquidated all my Naira investments and I converted everything to dollars at 360 between was between September and December 2019. Like, okay, this one is not so much. I will leave it to run and I will get my money back. Now, what happened? COVID happened. Now, everybody started shutting down. What happened was that offshore investors started selling our Nigerian sovereign. It's a Euro bond. It's a dollar-denominated bond. And so Euro bonds that were around 7, 8, 9, max 10, I don't think they were 10 then. They went as high at 15. At that point, I'm like, there's no way this thing is going. And at that time, Nigeria wasn't as bad as it was now. And I'm like, Nigeria cannot default. So am I going to buy? So I bought at a price of, I think 50, 60 something dollars to a unit, for a unit at that time. So it was 15%. And that was in the midst of COVID, right? That's when I bought that. Now, fast forward to 2021, that same bond that I bought at 60 something Naira, I think by the time I add, it was just 70 Naira, let's just say $70, I'm sorry, per unit. Fast forward to like 9, 10, 11, 12 months later, it was like $114 per unit or $117 per unit. I looked at it. I said, where is this thing going beyond here? I sold my bond. I collected my cash. I had almost doubled my money. Now, what are the things that happened here? Number one, I had savings. I had cash waiting. I had cash. I saw the economy. I converted to dollars. Now, the dollar was chilling there. I was looking for what to put it in, and something came, and I put it in that thing. Did I know that in such a short period, it was going to go that far? No, I didn't. But when I saw it go that far, I'm like, okay, where is it going to go? And it was the right choice, because right after that, from 114, it went down to like 80. But I had collected my money and I was fine. Now, imagine if we're both colleagues and we're both saving. Yeah. And I did that and you did not. How will we feel? Yeah. So now, in fact, this is actually grilling us. Oh, I mixed it up. So this is another story. Please, if I have time, I'll tell the story of these zebras. Yeah, sorry, I mixed up the slides at all. But yes, you get the point of the NIGB story. You have to do stuff. You have to plant it, and then you have to be intentional about giving it time. All this kalu, it's not really like that. It's not. Some things would actually come out faster than you expect, but it's not entirely like that every day, all day. You just have to have that planting mindset. Sorry, I'll come back to that. Now, so what do you need to do? The first thing is to know what is really doing you. A lot of times we think that the reason why we are under pressure, under duress, is because of what the central bank is doing or the foolishness of the government. I agree. But I put it to you, like a friend of mine, we had a session in my club at the beginning of this month. Oh, yeah, this month, like a week or so ago. And he said, defaults don't happen overnight. So the guy is on the Ghana bond negotiation. You know, the Ghana defaulted and they are then negotiating with the government and with other investors and stuff. He's an investment banker handling that project for a consortium of investors, right? And what did he say? He said, defaults don't happen overnight. And that's the same thing with everything that we are seeing. It did not happen overnight. So they are asking why they're doing that. So that's what they will do. That's it. No data, no peace. So what you're supposed to be thinking is, okay, when they do this, what should or if they are going to do me, amen. Now, so I said, oh, my connection, confirm that you can see me. It's popping up and out. Yeah. Can you guys see me? Hear me? Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, fantastic. So know what is really doing you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So know what is really doing you. Now, this one, everybody's somewhere inside here. So that's the first thing. You don't need to tell anybody, but just tell yourself, this is one that is doing me. So it all starts with making money. And I mean, I remember they was talking about how they should have just thrown her into, before everybody joined the call, that she should have just started investing in real estate from when she was 12. But you have to make money first now. You see somebody's money you want to be investing, yeah? Think about it. So it always starts with making money. Always starts with exchanging value for time, value for money, or time for money. You must be exchanging something to get paid. It starts with that. Now, everybody starts there. So imagine you have 10 colleagues. You all start with making money. Your decisions will now be making your lives different as you go along. Now, so for some people, all they do is make and spend. If you do that, then your cycle is very short, right? It means that yeah, one of those people that on the 20th, if payday is 24, 20th, your eye is red, nobody should talk to you. Your children will just say, it's 20th, don't talk to daddy, don't talk to daddy, leave him alone. That's it. Because you're just barely getting to 24, you're like, oh, I'm alive, I survived, right? That's where you are here. So that if anything just rocks your boat, you are rocked, like you are done for, right? Or you might have to borrow. That's it. Now, for some people, so what happens is your money cycle is very short. You make money, you spend, you just keep going in that cycle, right? And you need to find a way to break it. Now, the next thing is for those that make and spend, but they also save, right? Now, when you save, there are two options. You are better off than the person that is just in this make and spend cycle, right? So your cycle is longer. But there are two things. You leave it in the bank. If you leave it in the bank, inflation will make you, like if you think of the two mothers I talked about, the one mother that just left the money in the bank, she either has to top up with more money or she would buy less bags of rice, one of the two. That is the impact of inflation. So if she says, I must still fund that party, she needs to make more money. Everybody's here. There's no escaping. Everybody's here. Somewhere inside this sheet, somewhere we are being described, right? So live in the bank. Now, if you save and invest, there's the negative one where you can lose money, right? And which has happened. That's why I put the poster boys of lost money. And guess what? You can lose money for legitimate reasons also. It doesn't necessarily have to be fraud, right? So lose money, or you have, and then your cycle, what happens is that you have to go back to the start. Yeah, you have to make more money. Every time you lose money, you have to start again. I literally know someone who on the agro partnership, she works in the development space and she's been there for years. Like, she's probably, we finished school together. So she's done like what, 14 years, right? 80% of her total savings, she doesn't carry LV bag. She's a very, let's keep it simple, live in Yaba, like don't make noise. I'm in Abuja, small place. 80% of her savings went into that. So what did she tell me? Well, I'm starting again. She joined my club. She's like, oh, I have to start again. Like, so you just have to do what? Start working again. But then if you invest and you make profits, right? There's a point in time that you get to. So think of that apple picture I painted, right? Imagine if you get it, you hustle for seed, and then you plant them. What happens is that when apples, maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 years, it takes 3 to 5 years for it to start producing fruits that you can harvest. After it starts producing fruits, the fact is that every year apples produce. Yeah. So when you get to that point where you have positioned, it just becomes that thing that keeps producing, right? So the goal is for you to say, where am I? Now, if you're one of those people that say, oh, I'm very prudent, I just have one test that I need you to do when you get home. Go and add your total savings and investment and divide it by, so let's say you've worked for 15 years, just like a gross general, okay, I've worked for this number of years, and add up how much you've earned per annum in that period. So divide your total savings and investment by that amount. If you are less than 20, 30%, you are not doing well when it comes to saving and investing. Okay, so your question here is, where am I and how can I move the needle? If you are on make spend and you move to saving. Oh, I forgot about borrowing. You want us to be sad? No, I want you to just wake up. I just want you to wake up. Wake up. When you wake up, you make the right decisions. Trust me, nobody will need to tell you what to do. You will do the right thing. So borrowing is one of those interesting things that if you are in this make spend and you add borrowing to your say you have taken yourself further away. But guess what? Some people can borrow for a property or to buy stocks, right? And if it goes well, they actually make a lot of money. Yeah, so there's also that. So borrowing is one of those iffy things that you have to be careful about what you're using it for. But debt in itself is not bad. Me, I'm a debt trader. So you can never tell me that debt is bad, Sha. Sorry. So there are 3 parts of thriving financially: making money, managing money, and multiplying. Making money is on your own head. You have to upskill and keep upskilling to keep yourself relevant and to make money. But like I said, you will work from 20 to 60, and from 60 to whenever it is over, you need to fund yourself. I see this Gen Alpha, Gen Z that are coming behind us. They might not be like us that are funding our parents the way we are doing, no. So just think about that. Let me leave it dangling there for you. I need to run. So managing money, like I have said, you're not a product of your circumstances, you're a product of your decisions, right? Multiplying money, I've talked about it. Yes, you have to do what you need to do. You need to invest. You need to find a way to start investing. And I think that was where, sorry, I put that slide there. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about was the creative. We did some creative investment in the club, right? And I wanted to tell a story about that now, and also talk about the fact that opportunities are around you, but somehow I don't know, maybe this is a wrong copy of this slide, but yes, opportunities are around you. How did I get into this creative space without all this noise? Okay, I can say her name, Lala. Lala is my friend. She's a creative person, right? We're in QC together. We were in lag, we're 5 and 6 in lag, so we're friends. And I happened to go to her house one day and she had some creative people around and I was just gisting with them and they were talking about this movie, blah, 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 they're raising funding. And I'm like, let me invest now and people should bring me in, And they were just talking, and I'm like, okay, but I had never done any creative investment before. I got a lawyer, I talked to some other creative people. What did they think? I did some background checks, blah, 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 blah. And we put money in. Now, to put it into context, we did 2 movies. We did the first one, and then the following year, we did the second one. The money that we got in returns, because I mean, I'm not one to drop numbers, but the money that we got in returns, I used it to buy a property in Nairobi, a studio apartment. Yeah. So what am I saying? See this multiplying thing. The investments that you're looking for, they're somewhere around you. If your eyes are open. And I put it to you, every investment I've done in the club is somebody knows somebody in the area, somebody's talking about something. I'm like, look what's in now. Look what's in now. Then guess what? I don't need to know it. I will go and find out. For example, how did I do due diligence for a property in Nairobi when I'm in Lagos? I got a lawyer, I got a this, I got a that. Well, if you see what I did, engineering structure, because I mean, buildings are collapsing in Nigeria. Why can't they collapse in another African country? You get the idea. But so find the opportunity and then do your due diligence. It will click, it will work, it will work. But what are the enemies of your financial stability? The first one is not having a direction, a goal, right? Think about Google Maps. Before you enter it, when you get to your car, you plot your destination. Then Google will say, okay, go left, go right, go this. In fact, Google asks for your location, which is why I said, know what is doing you. So when you know what it's doing, you now start plotting to get to where you are going, but you have to have a destination. Very, 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 very important. Other things, lifestyle inflation, we talked about that, over trading, not considering you in the equation. What do I mean? 2 people consider one investment. Real estate, for example, we know that you can do a real estate deal and exit in 9 months, but it's not the norm. The norm is that real estate is long-term. So let's say you have school in September 2021, 24, right? And somebody comes with a good real estate deal. And you say, oh, I must not miss out, I must not miss out, I must not miss out. It's a fantastic deal. You put your money, then it's time for school. You are trying to sell it because it's a good deal and you can't. Or you now for sale, you now sell at a loss, or you now go and borrow, things like that. That kind of thing, if you have an obligation in September, what should you do? You should put it in low risk investment, right? In the currency that you need it in. Why you it one day or one time or the other? Putting your eggs in one basket. It's also a thing. Why? Because life is still life. The fact, and I always tell people in my community, I'm not telling you that I pray. I literally pray that all our deals will go well. And so far, they've been going very well. And I'm grateful. But the fact is that you honestly cannot control the outcome of every possible investment. So you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Confirm. And this is from me. I've lost money. I've made money. I've lost money from shocking situations. Like, the money has gone. Okay. What can we do? Right. So just bear that in mind. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. Ignoring the environment also is another thing, which I think a lot of people have done in Nigeria. There's some investments. For example, agro partnership is a victim of our environment. You can't be doing agric in that structure in Nigeria. Why? Because agric is a hot mess, is a hot, risky mess. So you need to do equity if we are doing agric, because you must be there for the long haul to run the tides and the waves and stuff, right? Working alone, this is what Nigerians do a lot. You are doing something, instead of you to talk. So people will tell you that there's gist that you should hear, you will not talk. It's an African problem. Start talking. Find people you can talk to. Not investing, that's the worst. That's, let me see my money in my account. Inflation is your sure enemy, sure. And no risk management. And this one, I'll ask a question. If you have $1 million in your account and you have a health bill for a surgery for $999, would you pay for the surgery, or would you say, I want to remain a millionaire in dollars? Question. Answer quickly now. I want to round up. I'm almost done. Let me see the time. I'm almost done. Hey, well, tough question, Abby. Life first, exactly. That's why you should have insurance. That's what health insurance is there for. If your health insurance cover is 2 million, it pay between 2K and 4K, right? Max 7K, 10K. You pay 10K per annum, right? And you have a 2 million cover, $2.5 million cover, right? God forbid. But guess what? It is true that as a Nigerian, we say God forbid, but guess what? It actually happens. It actually happens that these things throw people off. And some of these GoFundMe, do you think that they don't have money before? But it's that they don't have insurance. And when you now have a pre-existing condition, no insurance company will take you up. That's what happens. So you need to make hay while the sun shines. Yeah. How to kickstart your journey? What if, no, let me know. Let's not go there. So basically, how to kickstart your journey. The question is, where are you in this? Where are you in this? And in fact, let me go answer this. What if God fails to forbid? The fact is that some of these things, they might not be as grievous, right? They might not be life or death situation, but they're just things that need to be done, right? It might take away health. Imagine car, right? Would you buy you'll be forced to buy a new car if your car is total, but if you paid for insurance, do you get? And do you know how much cars are right now? So yes, maybe your driver totaled the car, so it has nothing to do with you. We are fine. Okay, God has kept you safe. Maybe you were supposed to be in the car. You did not now enter the car that day. So see this thing there, you cannot. You have to think it through well. So what you have to do is have a conversation with yourself. Where are you? Where's your struggle? The next thing is even Google self, ChatGPT can help you. How can I start saving better? Amen. Things like that. How can I start? I mean, the whole making profits and questions around that is a longer conversation, but I just wanted to get people to start thinking in the right direction and asking the right questions, right? We can't cover everything here, but I mean, the major thing, before I go to the last slide, the major thing we need to know is that, see, economy will economy. See, you see these people that are leaders in every country. There are very few global leaders that have good hearts. Very few that actually have your interest at heart. You begin to see things like this year, we're running to an election year in the United States. What is going to happen is that interest rates are going to come down. Interest rates, they've been shocking people with sins. Why? Because they want to win the election. Yeah. But what are you going to do? Because they're going to start bringing out interest rates. What happens when they bring down interest rates? It's cheaper to borrow, so it's cheaper to buy. It's easier to buy assets. If you know they've not started, what should you be doing right now? That is the thinking. Because this interest rate that they bring down, they're going to bring down for a while to cross. You understand? They have to. So you have to position yourself for it. I hope we are understanding how to think about it. So what are you supposed to be doing? Keep your seed, find the right location, find the right soil, sow your seed, give it time, harvest, and sow more seeds. That's literally it. I think I can end there. I have additional resources. I have a lot of free stuff and stuff. Thank you. Stop share. I didn't get much questions. With this Naira matter. Oh, on stock investing, very fantastic question. So the fact is this, the stock market generally, everywhere in the world, is a steady, what's it called? Money maker. Even in Nigeria. I didn't talk about my stock investing. My stock investment. I bought stocks during COVID. If you know where Zenny Bank is, I bought Zenny Bank at 10 Naira. I bought MTN at 19 Naira. Right? What am I saying? A lot of times, right? People come in when it's noisy. So I don't want to give an advice based on the noise that is right now. I just want to tell you for a fact that give the ups and the downs, give the noise of Nigeria, give all that. That's just Nigeria. I'm not talking about US. US is, if you say Nigeria is, US is making people money if you are on the right names, right? I will just tell you that if you want to do something good for your children, find some good names, and just be buying every month for them. Take away the noise. Okay, take away the noise. And so don't try to say, oh, I'm buying the stock now, check if it's going up and down. That's trading. And that's also valid. So there's a mindset for trading. And I'm not going to say don't trade. Me, I'm a trader. I've been a trader since 2008. I'm a proud trader. I always trade. But I also have investments. I also have things that I'm not touching, that I'm just building. So I would say the stock market generally is a consistent creator of wealth over time. You see this exchange that we are seeing right now, all this drama. The fact is that as we go along, the stock market will reprice. And let me give you one scenario of why it will reprice it. So for example, GTB is listed in Nigeria and in the UK, right? So GTB is traded by offshore guys abroad. The fact is this: if GTB is 15 Naira here and dollar is 1,000, it means that GTB should be in dollar terms, 50 over 1,000. That should be the price on the exchange there abroad. So let me use pounds and let me keep that 1,000 for ease of math, right? That's what the price should be, because it's the same company. It's the same company, right? It's the same company. Now, the fact is that at some point in the midst of all this noise, when offshore guys come in, they will sell GTB in London and buy it here. Why? Because it's underpriced here. What does that do for you who has been buying in Naira? And all this while I'm building up, the value of the stock is going to go up. But you have to give it time. And you have to understand the cycles will come and will keep your eyes on the market. You can't be trading from far. You have to be close. Then they've been circulating CSCS link to claim unclaimed dividend. But the port doesn't seem to work. Go to your stockbroker. They'll give you forms to fill. So there's a SEC link. I mean, I can drop the link in the. It's not CSCS link. I don't know what CSCS link. I know of a SEC link. Where you can search for your name and have a list of the stocks that you have outstanding, and the names of the companies that you have outstanding dividend for, right? When you get that, I just open a stockbroking account and just tell them these are the stocks that I have outstanding dividend for. They'll give you forms to fill for the registrars of those companies, right? And they would do two things. They would move your stock to your stock, like the paper stock that you had before, into your stockbroking account, aka dematerialize it, and then they will also pay you your backlog of unclaimed dividend. But that's your stockbroker's work. You don't need to give yourself that headache. I'm open to other questions. Yes. What people do with so the question is, does it make sense to have trust funds for your children? Yes. It does. Now, it's part of this risk management thing, right? We all pray to live long. We all pray to, but I in fact, I didn't want to go the via video, please. Yes, sure. After this question, you can go next. Estate planning. A lot of people are very whatever about it, like you're planning to die. But what I say is that you're planning to be rich. Now think about it, and let me put this example into context. I have a friend whose mom was a perm sec in Lagos years ago, and she has houses in Ikoyi. She was a civil servant. Now they are telling her one property is worth 700 million. She does not understand it. She's in her 80s. She's like, I don't understand. Somebody will use 700 million to buy a house. Why? Like, do people, like, she cannot even process it. But guess what? She lives long. She will live till 120, or 500, and leave this earth. That'll be one day. We are not praying for mama to leave anytime soon, but she would one day leave this earth, and she would have to transfer ownership, and her children will have to record that she's gone, right? Do you know what happens? There are some taxes you will pay, and they will not pay it on the price you bought it at the beginning. They'll pay it at the value of the current value of the property. Now, if she had put issue, thinking, oh, my children can benefit from it. So those are the kind of things that you think about. Even a will, it will still expose you to, so it will still expose you to some taxes and stuff, right? And some probate fees, blah, 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 all that. And maybe we can consider bringing an estate planning person as another. It's a whole conversation on its own. But yes, it does make sense. It's planning to be rich, especially good morning if you born kid America. Is a lot, especially if you're in a position appropriately from the start. I say planning. What did you miss?
Just the last like 2-3 minutes.
Oh, 2-3 minutes. Oh, wow. So I was saying that if you had your child in America, right, you need to be aware that they will tax your gifts to them. Stop, like you position yourself for your child for a huge tax obligation, because they tax anywhere in the world, wherever you get revenue from, gifts and stuff like that. So trust fund makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Daniel, your question. You still there? I can't see you anymore, Daniel.
I think he went off. But any other questions?
I see your message. Omo. Yes, so because the wife would Real issues of life. She knows the implication. I mean, those are the things you need to get educated about if you have kids in America. You need to get educated about those things early enough so you don't have regrets, or you don't don't have regrets, or you don't feel like, oh, I wish I had known this. So you need to get educated about the tax, the implications. It's very interesting. I sat in a session about it and I was wowed by it. So any other questions? Thank you, Chinasa. I guess I can hand over to Aramide.
Okay, let me come back. We don't want you to stop. This was such a good session and the timing was great. Thank you everyone for being a part and asking your questions. Feel free to ask more. We Ola has a club, an investment club that will be sharing more about. I think from tomorrow on the members group. So we have a partnership where to join her network, you would have access to all the opportunities for investment, and you get a discounted fee if you're a member. So look forward to that information that we're going to share. Is there anything else I should say, Ola, on that?
No, nothing. We can unpack the benefits on both sides later. So
Okay,
I think we're
okay.
good for
But yeah, no, this was really good. There's going to be a recording made available. We shared on the members groups. So yeah, thanks everyone. Look forward to the next. I think from the way things are looking, we're going to try and have a money session every month or other month, with different speakers. Ola, we may even invite you at some point again later during the year. But it sounds like, of course, money is something that all of us are thinking about as we build our careers, assets, and income. So it looks like we're going to try to have a money topic with an expert every month or other month. Yeah. So that's just an FYI. But of course, we're still going to have other sessions every other week. We've had 3 this year so far. And yeah, thanks everyone. If you're interested in speaking, I can see Aunt Yang here. We're going to have you talk about retirement. So please reach out to myself or one of the admins so that we can organize a session with you coming to speak. Thank you once again, Ola. This was amazing, insightful. And yeah, looking forward to collaborating with you. Je suis d'accord on money sessions. Yeah, I'm very, very much in alignment to, yeah, I think it's very important. And it's something that everybody is thinking about, so it's relevant. So yeah, thanks, Ola. This was so engaging. You're such a great speaker and presenter. And yeah, all the very best. Thank you, everyone. Nice to see you all. And thanks to Precious, Niger Startups Precious for coordinating as well. Okay. See you.